With so many routines talking about facial skincare, how can you take care of the skin of your body? Many of the same principles that you'll use to take care of the skin of your face are going to apply to the body, but there's a few categories and things that I do want to talk about. I'm Dr. Dustin Portela. I'm a board-certified dermatologist, and as a dermatologist, I'm an expert in everything that has to do with the skin, hair, and nails. Now, while facial skincare gets the most attention and the market is big, there's a lot of things you can do to take care of the skin of your body, and that will play a huge role in making sure you age gracefully and your skin stays looking young forever. We'll approach it just like a facial skincare routine, so let's start with cleansing. When it comes to cleansing your body, there are a few things that you'll want to do on the body that might be a little bit different from the face. It's less likely that you're going to use active ingredients on the skin of the body. Most of the time, you're going to use just gentle hydrating soaps or body washes. In general, with my patients, I recommend that they use fragrance-free options. Fragrance is not bad if you're not allergic to it, however, but especially if you have sensitive skin, you'll want to choose something without fragrance. Bar soaps are okay to use. Dove is one of my favorites there, and body washes can be great as long as it's hydrating. I generally counsel my patients to stay away from harsh and highly fragrant soaps and body washes, however. So brands like Axe are not my favorite, and bars like Irish Spring are not my favorite, but Dove and Neutrogena make some great products for the body as well. If you tend to have very dry, sensitive skin, or you have a history of eczema, you may not want to use a soap or a body wash all over the whole body every day. One counsel that I have for my patients is to just wash the dirty areas with their soap and maybe only wash the whole body with soap once a week. But if you focus on the armpits, the groin, and the feet, you can do that every day and not dry out your arms and legs quite so much. One of the most important steps you can do for your skin is when you get out of the bath or shower, while your skin is still a little bit damp, don't completely dry off, but that's the perfect time to apply your moisturizer. When you apply your moisturizer to slightly damp skin, it'll help to hold that water on the skin, and what we're trying to do is not push water into the skin. Our skin's a really good barrier against that, but to prevent water loss out of our skin. And if we create a barrier by using a good moisturizer, then you're going to have less problems losing water through the skin, which makes you dry and will end up making you itchy. Usually I'll recommend to use a thicker cream-based moisturizer, and of course you all know that I'm big fans of CeraVe and Cetaphil cream, but there's many other thick creams like Vana cream as well is another great brand, but a thick cream is really going to do a better job to hold that moisture on the skin. If you're significantly dry, then you can even use Vaseline type products like a petrolatum ointment, and CeraVe makes one that I really am a big fan of. Aquaphor is great, and if you're covering your arms or legs, the Aquaphor body spray ointment is fantastic. So while your skin is still damp, make sure that's the time that you're moisturizing, and your skin is going to stay a lot healthier that way, and you'll have fewer problems with eczema, dry skin, or irritation. Just like on your face, the most important thing you can do to take care and preserve the skin on your body is to use a sunscreen consistently. The body gets neglected a lot more than the face, and there's so many great options for facial sunscreen, but body sunscreens are just as important. For myself, I like to use a spray on my arms and on my legs, but I'll use creams and lotions as well, depending on whatever's handy. Before I go out and spend time in the yard playing with my kids, I've always got a facial sunscreen on that I put on every morning, but it's pretty common that I'll use a spray and just spray down my arms before I go out. We've talked about sunscreen in previous videos, and you know that sunscreens are safe to use, and they're the most effective way to prevent the development of skin cancer. I like roll-on or stick sunscreens as well, and these ones work great for kids. You can get that all over them a lot easier sometimes than rubbing them down with a lotion. If you don't like the feel of sunscreens or you're concerned about safety, you can always wear long-sleeve shirts and hats or sun protective clothing of other kinds in order to help protect yourself from the sun. That ultraviolet light from sun exposure will thin out the collagen in your skin over time. As that happens, there's less protection around your blood vessels, and that's why we see problems on elderly people that bruise really easily. As that collagen diminishes in the skin, very minor trauma causes bruises that take forever to go away. Additionally, using that ultraviolet protection through clothing or sunscreen is going to help limit your risk of developing skin cancer, and having scars all over your arms, legs, back, or trunk otherwise just doesn't look that good. So if you're trying to keep the skin of your body as healthy as possible throughout your life, using sun protective measures is critical. Now on the face, we have a lot of options for serums and other types of creams that have active ingredients in them to help to rejuvenate the skin. There are equivalent things to use on the body, but you want to be careful not to overuse chemical exfoliants on the body. You can use things containing salicylic acid, and there's great lotions and creams that have salicylic acid in it. These are particularly good if you have problems like keratosis pilaris, KP, or strawberry arms as it's sometimes called. You get these little pinpoint bumps on the back of the arms, sometimes on the thighs or on the sides of the cheeks, and a little mild exfoliation with a salicylic acid containing lotion or cream can be helpful to smooth that out, even if it may not take it completely away. An alternative to salicylic acid creams and lotions would be creams and lotions with ammonium lactate. And amlactin is one of the most common ones on the market that work really well for that. And with these, it's still very important to apply that to the skin as soon as you step out of the shower or bath. In general, I caution against using other more harsh exfoliants like peeling solutions that you might use on your face on your body. You have many more oil glands in the face, and the ability for the facial skin to rejuvenate after treatments that exfoliate is really a lot better than it is on the body. And so treatments like that on the body you have to be much more careful with because it's easier to cause scarring and hyper or hypopigmentation, meaning dark spots or white spots. If you're interested in exfoliating on the body, I recommend using more physical exfoliation, and you still want to be very gentle with that. Physical exfoliation can be done with scrubs, something that is gritty, and this is where you could use something like an apricot scrub, but you just don't want to rub too hard. But as you do that, it will help to remove dead skin cells and encourage cell turnover. One of the easier ways to exfoliate on the body is to use products that you combine with your regular cleanser. And one of my favorite lines is from a company called Clean Logic. This is not sponsored or anything, but I have worked with Clean Logic on other projects in other social media channels. But Clean Logic has a line of products with dozens of different ways to help exfoliate on the body. So they have something that you can put a bar of soap into, and it has texture to it that as you rub that on your body, it's going to help gently exfoliate the skin on your body. They have lots of different ways to apply this, bigger scrubs. They have some that have activated charcoal in it and other detoxifying ingredients. One of their most popular are gloves that you can put on and then lather up the whole body and gently exfoliate. And then the stretch cloth is another one of their favorites. This you can lather up and it stretches. You can get that all the way on your back. Products like this from Clean Logic are generally gentle enough to use on a daily basis, but if you find yourself getting irritated, you may not want to use them that consistently. But they have lots of different textures, and I think it's worth trying out if you want to have some exfoliation on the body. So to recap, for skincare on the body, use gentle cleansers wherever possible. If you have specific skin concerns that you're trying to address, you can use chemical exfoliators, but make sure it's done in a product that's intended for the body and not for the face. Sunscreen is still the most important thing you can do to preserve the health of the skin of your body, so make sure you're applying sunscreen whenever you're going out for any length of time. I do recommend to use it every day, even if you're not spending a lot of time outdoors, because that incidental sun exposure adds up over the course of your lifetime. And lastly, if you want to have an exfoliation practice, I generally recommend avoiding harsh chemical exfoliants, but use more physical exfoliants on the body, and Clean Logic is a line that I really enjoy that I've worked with in the past. Remember that if you have a specific skin issue that's not being improved with your over-the-counter regimen, go see a board-certified dermatologist. They're going to be able to give you the proper diagnosis and treatment recommendations to get the problem under control, hopefully quickly. I want to thank you as my subscribers for asking these questions. This was an answer to a follower question. If you have other questions or topics you'd like me to cover, make sure to leave them in the comments below. Hit that subscribe button, and I'll try to address all the questions that I can as we continue to educate you on the health of your skin, hair, and nails. Thank you.